My name is Nora Fitzpatrick, and I'm 29 years old. I know how that sounds. Petty, dramatic, like I blew up a relationship over one bad sentence. But anyone who has ever loved someone obsessed with climbing knows the ending is never about one sentence. It is about the thousand smaller sentences before it. The ones you swallowed because you wanted to believe the person beside you loved you more than the image they were chasing. That sentence in the car was not the wound, it was the receipt. I worked in back-end logistics for a major shipping firm. Profitable, stable, technical, and to my boyfriend Dylan, incredibly boring. Dylan called himself a lifestyle strategist, which was just a polished way of saying unemployed with expensive taste and a camera roll full of rented confidence. For 2 years, I paid most of the rent on our downtown apartment. I paid the lease on the Audi he loved to pose beside. I paid for the dinners he posted, the weekend trips he tagged, the jackets he wore while pretending his life had always looked that effortless. In exchange, I was allowed to exist in the background, a useful prop. A reliable woman with a good credit score keeping the lights on while Dylan waited for his real life to start. The night it ended, we were heading to a launch party for a boutique agency in the city. This was the big league for him. A-list influencers, local celebrities, and most importantly, Marina Vale, a woman with venture capital money and the kind of social reach Dylan treated like oxygen. He had spent 3 hours getting ready. He looked incredible, I will give him that. Black designer jacket, perfect hair, the watch I bought him for his birthday catching every street light. But the energy in the car felt wrong. Usually, I drove with one hand on the wheel and his fingers threaded through mine. That night, he was pressed against the passenger door, scrolling aggressively through the guest list, sighing like my existence had become a scheduling problem. "You're wearing that?" he asked without looking up. I glanced down at my charcoal suit. "It's tailored. It's fine." "It's very corporate," he muttered. "Marina's circle is more fluid, more elevated. You look like you're here to audit the bar tab." I kept driving. We were 5 minutes away, and I had already learned that defending myself against Dylan's little cuts only made him call me sensitive. He snapped the visor mirror shut and turned toward me. The air changed instantly. Not romantic, not nervous, managerial, like he was about to reprimand an employee before a client meeting. "Listen," he said in that fake soft voice he used whenever he wanted something unreasonable. "Tonight is huge for my brand, like genuinely career-defining. I need to network. Seriously, network." "Okay," I said. "So network. I'm there to support you." He bit his lip, pretending the next words pained him. "Right, but the optics are complicated." My fingers tightened slightly around the wheel. "If I walk in with a girlfriend," he continued, "especially someone who looks so settled, it kills the vibe. People like Marina invest in possibility, availability. They want to feel like they're discovering someone before anyone else locks them down." A cold click sounded somewhere inside my chest. "So, what are you asking, Dylan?" He smoothed his jacket, eyes flicking toward the venue lights ahead. "Can you pretend you're not my girlfriend tonight? Just for the party. Drop me off around the corner. Come in 10 minutes after me if you want, but don't stand near me. Don't hold my hand. If anyone asks, we're roommates or old friends. Let me be the main character for a few hours." He looked at me with those wide, expectant eyes, waiting for me to be the supportive woman, the good woman, the woman who understood his dreams, even when those dreams required erasing her. In the past, I would have argued. I would have asked why I was not good enough to be seen beside him. I would have tried to negotiate dignity in small pieces. That night, nothing came. No anger, no tears. Just clarity. I looked at him and realized I was not looking at my partner. I was looking at a liability, so I smiled, calmly, genuinely. "Okay," I said. He blinked. Really? You don't mind? Not at all, I said. I want you to get exactly what you're looking for tonight. He laughed with relief. Oh my God, Nora, thank you. You're the best. He had no idea. I pulled up near the converted warehouse, glowing with velvet ropes, cameras, and expensive desperation. Dylan checked his reflection one last time. Give me 10 minutes, he said. Don't come in until 9:15. Then he stepped out, straightened his jacket, put on his camera face, and walked toward the entrance without looking back. I watched him disappear inside. Then I put the Audi in drive, made a U-turn, and went home. The drive back was the quietest 20 minutes of my life. I turned off the radio because even music felt like unnecessary noise. My mind was not spinning. It was organizing. Clothes, documents, bank accounts, keys, credit cards, shared expenses. The layout of our apartment appeared in my head like a floor plan, every drawer and shelf marked by ownership. People always ask why I left, when I was the one paying most of the rent. The answer is simple. Fighting to remove someone from a lease takes months. Leaving takes an hour. I did not want a confrontation. I did not want Dylan crying, begging, insulting me, or twisting my departure into some dramatic proof that I never supported him. I wanted to be gone before his fantasy failed, and he remembered I was useful. I parked in the garage at 9:25 p.m. Dylan was probably getting his first drink, leaning close to Marina, pretending the Audi, the apartment, the clothes, and the easy confidence had appeared through his own ambition. I rode the elevator up alone, key cold in my palm. When I opened the apartment door, the smell hit me first. His cologne, the expensive candles I bought, the faint trace of hair product still hanging in the bedroom. It already felt like a set after the actors had left. I went straight to the closet and pulled down 2 suitcases and my gym duffel. The rules were clear. Essentials only. Clothes, shoes, toiletries, high value. My laptop, external drives, watches, passport, tax files, birth certificate, car title, the lockbox with my emergency cash, the photo of my grandmother, the signed first edition my father gave me when I graduated. Non-negotiable. Everything else was just furniture wearing memories. I moved with the efficiency of someone cleaning a crime scene. My side of the closet was empty in 10 minutes. Suits, blouses, jeans, sweaters, folded and packed. I cleared my nightstand, then the bathroom, sweeping my skincare, toothbrush, prescriptions, and deodorant into a pouch. I left the expensive towels. I left the TV. I left the dishes we picked out after Dylan said white plates would photograph better. Stuff can be bought again. Dignity cannot. At 9:55, the suitcases were lined by the door. I sat at the kitchen island and opened my banking app. We had a joint account for household expenses, which mostly meant I funded rent while Dylan used it for content groceries that were usually wine, imported olives, and flowers for photos. I transferred exactly 50% of the balance into my personal savings. Not a dollar more. I was not stealing. I was settling up. Then I removed my credit card from his Uber account, his Amazon account, and every food delivery app he had casually attached to my wallet. At 10:15, I carried the bags down to the car. I did one final sweep of the apartment. My side of the vanity was bare. My side of the closet was a hollow rectangle. My side of the bed was made because some ridiculous part of me still liked leaving rooms orderly. I did not write a note. A note suggests there is something left to discuss. Dylan had asked me to pretend I was not with him. I was simply making the performance permanent. I placed my key on the kitchen counter beside the empty wine glass he had used while getting ready. Then I walked out and closed the door. The lock clicked behind me with a soft, final sound. I checked into the St. Regis downtown using points I had been saving for a weekend trip Dylan kept postponing because it was not visually interesting enough. The suite was quiet, clean, high above the city. I ordered a bourbon, kicked off my heels, and sat by the window watching lights blink in towers where nobody knew my relationship had just ended. At 12:42 a.m., my phone rang. Dylan. I let it ring 3 times, then answered on speaker. "Where the hell are you?" His voice was half slur, half shriek. Wind whipped through the microphone. He was outside. "Hello, Dylan." "Don't hello, Dylan me. I've been standing here for 20 minutes. The valet said the car isn't here. Did you move it?" "I left." Silence. "You left?" His anger dropped into confusion. "What do you mean you left? How am I supposed to get home?" "Take an Uber." "I can't. My phone is on 4%, and surge pricing is insane. Come get me." No please. No apology. Just a demand for services. "How was networking?" I asked. "Did Marina discover you?" "Don't be a jerk," he snapped. "Marina's fake. She left with some crypto guy. The whole party was lame. Just come get me." There it was. Plan A had failed. The upgrade had chosen someone shinier. Now he needed the boring woman with the paid lease and reliable car. "I can't pick you up," I said. "Why not?" "I'm following your instructions. You asked me to pretend I wasn't your girlfriend tonight." "Oh my God, Nora. I meant at the party." "That's the thing, Dylan," I said, looking out over the city. "I'm not pretending anymore." His voice cracked. "Nora, please. I'm cold." "Still pretending," I said. Then I hung up. I slept better than I should have. Not peacefully exactly, but deeply. The kind of sleep your body takes when it has been carrying something too heavy for too long and finally drops it. When I woke at 8 a.m., city light was slipping through the hotel curtains. My phone was a war zone, and the suite was still blissfully quiet. 47 missed calls from Dylan, 12 from Cameron, his loudest friend and self-appointed legal counsel whenever Dylan did something indefensible. 83 text messages. I ordered room service before I opened any of them. Eggs Benedict, coffee, fruit I did not intend to eat. Then I sat by the window and scrolled through the collapse like a case study. The first stage was denial. 1:03 a.m. "Pick up the phone. Stop playing games. I'm in an Uber and it cost me $96. You are paying for this." Then anger. 1:46 a.m. "Where are your things? Why is the closet empty? Where is your laptop? Did we get robbed?" Then bargaining. 2:18 a.m. "Nora, please call me. I'm scared. Why is your key on the counter? Did I do something wrong? We can talk." Then the dramatic grief. 3:31 a.m. "I can't stop crying. How could you do this to me? I love you. Come home." And finally, at 6:04 a.m., rage wearing therapy language. "You are a narcissistic psycho. Cameron says what you did was emotional abandonment. I hope you enjoy being alone." I took a sip of coffee. Cameron's texts were even better. "You stranded a man downtown at night. That is literally abuse." I stared at that sentence for a full 5 seconds, marveling at the confidence required to turn Dylan's failed performance into my violence. Cameron followed with, "He is distraught. You better fix this before people find out what kind of woman you really are." I did not argue. I did not defend myself. I simply screenshotted the text Dylan had sent me 3 weeks earlier, asking if I could transfer rent early because he had bought networking clothes for the launch party and was short. Then I replied to Cameron. He asked me to pretend we weren't together. I respected his wishes. Since you're concerned, rent is due on the 1st. It is in his name. Make sure he has it handled. Then I blocked him. At 10 a.m., I received an automated email from the apartment complex saying a rent payment was pending. I logged into the portal and removed my bank account as the payment method. Then I logged into the shared utility accounts, power, internet, cable. I did not shut anything off immediately because I was not interested in giving Dylan a legal weapon. I scheduled transfers and cancellations for 48 hours later. 2 days to become independent, since independence had apparently been the theme of the night. By noon, Dylan's public performance began. He posted an Instagram story with white text over a black background. I don't usually post personal stuff, but last night I learned how cruel people can be when they don't get their way. Abandoned downtown by someone I trusted. Blindsided. Heartbroken. Healing. The hashtags were worse. Hashtag survivor. Hashtag protect your peace. Hashtag betrayal. The comments filled instantly. Stay strong. You deserve better. Some people can't handle ambition. I felt one hot flash of irritation, then kept scrolling. The next story in my feed was from the boutique agency. Their recap reel had already gone up. Glittering lights, clinking glasses, Marina posing with the founder, a DJ pretending to be spiritual about bass. And there, in the background of one clip, was Dylan leaning toward Marina, laughing too hard, touching her arm. Marina looked bored, eyes already scanning past him. In the next clip, she walked out with a taller man in a white jacket while Dylan stood behind her with a drink in his hand and his mouth slightly open. I did not need to counter his story. The internet had accidentally preserved the truth in better lighting than I ever could. 2 days later, the real panic arrived by email, because Dylan was blocked everywhere else. Subject: please read. He wrote, Nora, I'm sorry about the party. I was stressed. I didn't mean it like that. But you have to pay the rent. The leasing office says it's overdue. I don't have it. You know I don't have it. Please just pay this month and we can figure everything out. There it was. Not love, not remorse. Logistics. I replied once. Hi, Dylan. I'm afraid I can't help. I'm currently saving my money for someone who is proud to be seen with me. You wanted independence. Independence starts with paying your own bills. Good luck with the brand. Sent. Then I closed the laptop, finished my coffee, and booked apartment viewings for the afternoon. 3 months passed, and my life rebuilt itself in quieter, sturdier ways than I expected. I found a loft in the industrial district with exposed brick, high windows, and absolutely none of Dylan's white-on-white minimalist decor. I bought the leather couch I had wanted for years, the one he always said looked too masculine for the brand. I started going to the gym at 6 in the morning because I no longer stayed up past midnight listening to a man explain how exhausting it was to be an influencer with fewer than 10,000 followers. My bank account recovered quickly once it stopped bleeding into brunch, Uber upgrades, and clothes Dylan called investments. I heard through mutual friends that Dylan was struggling. After I left, the apartment went delinquent almost immediately. He was evicted a month later and ended up sleeping on Cameron's couch. Apparently, Cameron's speeches about ambition and men being misunderstood became less inspiring once Dylan started eating his food, using his shower, and not contributing to utilities. I expected Dylan to fade away eventually, but people like him do not fade. They wait, recalculate, and return with a new script. It happened on a Tuesday afternoon. I was leaving my office for lunch when I saw him near the planter boxes, holding a large manila envelope like a prop in a courtroom drama. The gloss was gone. His hair was pulled back under a beanie, less fashionable and more unwashed. His jacket looked cheap. His eyes looked tired. When he saw me, he put on a shaky smile. Nora, he said. Hey. I stopped several feet away. What are you doing here? Some of your mail came to Cameron's place. Forwarding must have messed up. It looked important. He held out the envelope. It was junk mail from a credit card company. He knew it. I knew it. The oldest trick in the book. Mail as an excuse to force a face-to-face meeting. You could have marked it return to sender, I said. His hand lowered and tears appeared instantly. 2 instantly. I missed you. I checked my watch. I'm on lunch. Can we just talk? 5 minutes. He stepped closer. I messed up. I know I messed up. But you have to understand the pressure I was under. I didn't want to hide you because I was embarrassed. I was trying to build a future for us. If I made it big, we both would have had that life. It was almost impressive, the rewrite. Turning erasure into sacrifice. Turning humiliation into strategy. You didn't do it for us, I said. You did it because you thought I was a stepping stone, and you were ready to jump to the next rock. You just slipped. That's not true. His voice broke. I love you. Cameron's place is a nightmare. I don't care about parties or Marina anymore. I just want to come home. He reached for my hand. I let him touch my fingers for 1 second, then pulled away. You don't miss me, Dylan. You miss the logistics of me. The rent paid, the car available, the bills handled, the audience seat filled. But the seat is empty now, and I'm not buying another ticket. His face crumpled. Keep the mail, I said. I have to get back to work. I walked away while he called my name twice. I did not pretend I could not hear him. I simply did not care enough to turn around. 2 months later, my company holiday party was held at an upscale rooftop lounge. Ironically, the kind of place Dylan would have killed to enter as a guest. I was not alone. His name was Adrian. He was an architect I met at the gym. Smart, funny, steady in a way that never felt boring. His ex-girlfriend Vanessa had once used him for status and connections, so he understood exactly why peace mattered to me. He drove his own car, paid for his own drinks, and never treated me like a background character. We were standing near the bar, laughing at a terrible joke my boss made, when I saw Dylan and Cameron near the entrance, working the event as promo staff. Generic black uniforms, trays of champagne, smiles practiced for people who did not look directly at them. Dylan froze when he saw me. He took in my tailored dress, my boss clapping me on the shoulder, Adrian's hand resting comfortably at my waist. His eyes widened with that painful realization people get when they understand you did not just leave, you rose. He stepped forward like he might speak. Nora, he mouthed. Adrian followed my gaze. Do you know him? I looked at Dylan, at the tray in his hand, at the desperation in his eyes begging me to validate his existence in the room. I thought about the car ride, the request. Pretend you're not my girlfriend. Then I turned back to Adrian and smiled. No, I said, clear enough for Dylan to read my lips. Just someone I used to know. Adrian squeezed my hand, and we walked toward the balcony to watch the city lights. I did not look back. For the first time in years, I was not pretending anything. I was exactly where I belonged.